reality.
Thomas and the Other Side. Many Thomas fans can remember the movie Thomas and the Magic Railroad. The film was really not that good. There are some things that don't make sense. The plot was stupid, and there was not enough Thomas in it. But what fans know most about the film is the director's cut. The film is supposed to have another villain called P.T. Boomer. What you've heard is that the guy was pretty dark for kids. He had to find Lady and tried to destroy her. And he only got one scene that is filmed, and it's the chase scene. It's the same scene as the final cut, but with P.T. Boomer in it. But he had to be cut after they say he's too scary for kids. What you've also heard is before the film was released, they have plans for a sequel. But after the film was a box office bomb, the sequel was scraped. I always wonder what they have plans for. The next day, was on my Skype talking to my friend Jake. But then he said he found a full movie about a sequel to that Thomas film. I think he was lying, but he sent me a video file named magicrailroad2.mp4. It was a big file, but he said, "I'm telling the truth. Here, this morning, found a letter on my door, and it has a DVD named Thomas and the Other Side, and ripped it to my computer. It's more darker than the first. I hope you see a reaction." After the file finished downloading, played the file. The movie started the same as the first one, but the music was, I don't know, Batman-like? The title of the film was black and white, and there was fire in the background. "Alright, we're going to a great start," I said to myself. The narrator sounded like a grown-up Lily from the first one.
Hi there. I have a story to tell you. There was a place that I've been before. It was called Island of Sodor.
Then shows the engines, and they look pretty good. It's like they took the Day Out with Thomas models and made a movie with them. The opening is well so far. Then Thomas was puffing to the station. Then an explosion suddenly happened. I really wasn't expecting that. Sodor was now on fire, and Thomas's friends raced out of the sheds. The island of Sodor was burning down, and the engines were sad and worried. The only thing to do is find a new place. What the hell? I thought. The engines slowly puffs down the track, talking about what caused that explosion. The talking started to get serious, and got pretty sad. Then they found a city that looked like from the 1970s. The next scene shows the engines finding a shed and found a dusty shed. They sleep in it anyway. But the next scene was something that was not expecting. Thomas was having a nightmare, and he was puffing away from another engine chasing him. It was a creepy version of Thomas. He suddenly appeared in front of Thomas. "Who are you?" Thomas yelled.
"I am you. I am your hell. I am Samot."
"Samot," I said. The next scene shows Thomas looking like crap. He pretty much didn't got enough sleep, and sometimes he started to hallucinate in front of his friends. That night, Thomas was puffing to explore the city. The place looks abandoned, and the fog was covering the set. Thomas was scared, and he can't see where he was going. He had to stop, but after he stopped, a flash suddenly appeared. Thomas puffed away in horror. After he stopped, he looked around to find out that he was lost. But after the fog fades away, and he see people looking at him, kid were shocked and scared. Thomas was in the middle of a city. Can you tell me where I am?" Thomas asked.
"Hell, you are in New York, son.
said a person. Thomas puffed to see the rest of the abandoned place and looked up at the buildings. Wow, this place looks nice.
Tell me, what's your name, talking train?
Oh, well, my name is Thomas the Tank Engine.
Well, Thomas, you're going to enjoy this place. Sorry if it looks unfinished. We still have a lot to work with.
Alright, I have to go back to tell my friends now. See you later. Then shows some moments of Thomas and his friends exploring New York. But one scene shows Thomas scared in fear after what he saw. He saw Samot was looking at him for 3 seconds. Samot then rushed at Thomas and chased him all over the track. Samot roared and Thomas called for help. The points switch, leading the same track as James where he is sleeping. James, look out!
Good luck,
Samot said. Thomas crashed into James, making them fall out of the rails. Thomas was passed out. James crashed the house in the back of him. Help! James cried. The scene cuts to Thomas and James are getting repaired. Thomas's face was in fear. He wanted to go back to the shed. Are you alright? Percy asked. I'm just not in a mood right now, Thomas sobbed. Thomas came back to the shed after getting fixed. He's even more tired than before. I just can't take this anymore, he said to himself. He went to his shed and fell fast asleep. I feel very sorry for Thomas after that scene. I feel the same way he is having right now. Trust me, my life isn't really easy. After Thomas falls asleep, he had another nightmare. But the nightmare was more, as you can say, frightening. Thomas was now in a circus place, and children were crying and screaming at him. Animals are trying to eat him, but the animals look like they have, I want to say, blood, but I'm really not sure. What the? Get off of me! Thomas screamed. The screaming and crying got louder and louder. Thomas closes his eyes, hoping it will be over. Flashing of Samhot started to appear, making the circus start to melt. Thomas woke up and screamed. He sobbed, and tried to forget after what happened to him. The next morning, Thomas puffed to see the people who are waiting to see him. Thomas sometimes sees Samhot in the background. Thomas tries to keep a cool head, but sometimes he feels hurt and scared. His friends keeps him calm and helps him whenever he feels down. But the next scene wasn't really kid-friendly. The scene has Thomas puffing down the track until he saw something on the track. It was a shadow of a train who was puffing at him. Thomas hits the shadow and suddenly appeared in a red stage. All he sees is bright red. But the red slowly turned to blue and a little bit of black. Hello? Thomas yelled.
Hi,
Said a voice. Huh? Who's there?
you.
But I'm me.
You are. I'm you.
Samhot then puffed in front of Thomas, making his eyes wide open.
Hey there, friend.
Who are you?
You.
He bumped into Thomas, making him fall down to hell. Thomas crashed into a pile of human bones, making him scream. Thomas slowly melts down, and Samhot laughs in a pretty evil way. Thomas's color turns into a dark blue and melted into big drops of water. Thomas's friends started to scream and cry and melt. Samhot is having a little too much. He started to bleed a little and screamed. Samhot's eyes turned into a dark blue color. He smashed his own teeth, and his face fell out of his body. But the movie shows that he didn't melt. Samhot is the spirit of a person who sadly died. He had to take a body of a train to survive. Everything turned back to normal. The island of Sodor was back, and the engines and back in their own shed. Thomas can't remember what happened, but all he can remember is he saw Samhot for the last time. Then the fat controller said, Thomas, You have to take the passengers to the plane station. You have to do a good work. Thomas thinks everything is fine, and he have to say yes. All right, sir. The next scene shows Thomas doing his work, and everything was normal. No explosion, no crashes, no signs of hell, no more Samot. But who is Samot anyway? What spirit is he carrying? Well, I talked to Jake about it, and he said, I'll tell you what it's about. It's about revenge. Weird, right? The backstory of the film is about revenge. Samot is Thomas's enemy. The spirit of Samot is a bully. He bullies Thomas a lot. He died after Thomas killed him. And now the bully have to take a train body in order to live once more. But Thomas got his revenge. He melted Samot. He broke his face. He turned everything back to normal. It's the only thing I can find on the internet. So, yeah. See you when I see you. Alright, I said to myself. This movie was a little darker than Thomas and the Magic Railroad. The backstory was a little bit sad. If you tried to find this film, you'll find nothing. If I can upload the full film without a copyright, then I will. Well, after seeing this film, it looks like Thomas really is a really useful engine.
Start